Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to discuss about Unix. So Unix introduction we will see. Basically Unix is a CUI operating system. The operating system it is interface between hardware and application software. So before Unix, let's come into the history of Unix. Uh, so before developing of Unix operating system at the AT&T Bell Labs, the software team led by Ken, Thomas, Dennis, Richard, and Rod Kennedy worked on Multis project. Okay, Multis stands for Multi Information Computing System. So the Linux, Unix, and the Unix and multis. These are the limit. These are the different terms of operating system in the Linux and Unix. Okay. So if it comes to the history of Unix, so multis it is started in 1965, AT&T, GE and MIT. It's a Unix. It's created by Ken Thomas in 1969, and Unix is written in 100% C language related to released in 1973. Okay. So initially, Multis was developed only to users based on the same concept in 1969, right? The Unisys operating system was developed for 100 users. The Unix stands for Uniplexed Information Computing System. Initially, Unix was written in assembly language in 1973. Okay, so you just need to know what is the Unisys full form. Unisys and Uniplexed Information Computing System. Okay, and multis stands for multi information computing system. So the key features of Unix is like features of Unix. There are different features like multi-user capability, multitasking capability, programming facility, portability, communication, security, operating system, and system calls, help facility. Let's see one by one. So flavors of Unix. Okay, there are different flavors. This is the vendor and operating system. AT&T Bell Labs. Okay, American Telephone and Telegraph, and Sun System Solaris. IBM have their own AIX and SG and SCO and BSD and HP. Okay, they each vendor have their own operating system. So in 1990, Linux Trevors, a graduate student of University Hastings, designed Unix like kernel in the 380 internal machines and gave to the open source foundation OFS. OSF means Open Source Foundation. There are different distributions on Linux and Unix like Red Hat, Open Source, Debian, Slack, and Mandrive, Ubuntu, Hoopy, Mint, Bosch, and these are the different flavors of Unix and Linux. Red Hat Linux versions. Okay. These are the free editions and the commercial editions. So key features of Linux, as I said, like it is a open source, so free software along with the source code and documentation, and multitasking, capable to run multiple applications and the process at the same time. Okay, multi-user, allow multiple users to log in and use the same process at the same time, and portability can be installed all the hardware architectures, scalability. The same operating system can be used on desktop to a supercomputer, and the reliability is a large server has been successfully running without a single second of downtime, and security, inbuilt firewall, IP tables, and C Linux. So mostly we will go Linux with security reasons only instead of Windows. So Linux will prefer to the security only. If you see the difference between Windows and Linux, like Unix, um, Unix is a multi-user operating. In Windows also it's multi-user operating system and multitasking, and the same thing also performed on multitasking. In the boot system, Unix is a 2 MB RAM is enough. When it comes to the Windows, it should be 12 MB RAM is required. Unix is a process-based concept, and Windows is a thread-based concept. Okay, and in the Unix, for every user request, it creates a new process. When it comes to the Windows, the formal number of user request is created only one process. In Unix, any user process is killed. It will not affect other users. It affects the all users. When it comes to the Windows, can we run more than 1 lakh transitions per unit? Maximum number of transitions in Windows should be 80,000 per minute. There is no limit for number of users working with the server. There is a limit of users in Windows. Unix is an open system, Windows is a closed system. Unix is portable OS. There is no portable OS in Windows. And Unix provides the programming favor, no programming facility. It's a CUI, it's a GUI. When it comes to the Windows, it should be a GUI, graphical user interface. When it comes to the Unix, it should be a CUI. Unix is not user friendly. When it comes to the Windows, it should be user friendly. The number of vendors like Red Hat, Sun Microsystem, IBM, HP, SEO. The only vendor in Windows is Microsoft. Okay, these are the key differences between Windows and Unix. When it comes to the operating system wide, it is like in Linux, it should be free, and when it comes to the Windows, it should be from free user version. There are different differences between Windows and Linuxes. So when it comes to the hardware requirement, in minimum hardware is processor and dual core. Comes to the RAM, it should be 1 GB, and CLI. When hard disk space, it is required 10 GB RAM, and GUI is 15 GB. Okay, this is the comes to the Windows, and this is for the Linux one. And recommended partition size, okay, it should be like a boot slash boot, it should be 500 MB. In the root, it should be 10,000 MB, and the user, and these are the space sizes which should be required. The installation steps on the Linux, these are the installation steps, but we are not depth of this one. Okay, now before that, let's see the architecture of Unix operating system. Okay, so first we have it should be a hardware. On top of hardware, it should be we have a kernel. On top of kernel, we have a shell. On top of shells, we will install tools and applications. So on top of this, we can user can interact. Okay. User. So here cell is like nothing but a is an environment which acts as interface between Unix system and the user. The cell should be interact between shell reads your commands to the interpreter supported executed program, which is which is interface between like a Unix system and the user. This will work as an interface between user and command. So shall get the input from the user and execute the program. When program finishes executing the display the program output. Like the shell is like it will read your command interprets as per the request execute by the program or programmers. Okay. As programming language, it should be permits to control how when the command has carried out the shell. The kernel is a part of your operating system that interact directly with the hardware of your computer, okay, through the device drivers that are built in the kernel. So when it comes to the you just need to know the shell and kernel and the user. When you type the command on the operating system, it will read your input and give it to the kernel, and it will be getting the output. So in the Linux, everything it should be in the file. The Unix file system. Let's see the file system of hierarchical file structure. File system hierarchy. Okay. So when you see the file system hierarchy, it should be start with the root. Okay. This if it is slash means this is the root. Under root we have different directories like root, boot, bin, and the home directory has been user, okay, etc, and media. These are the different directories. Okay. A file system is a basic structure used to store information about the Unix file system. Technically, a file is a sequence of bytes that's stored in somewhere in the storage device, such as disks. In Unix provides a logical method for organizing, storing, and retrieving, manipulating the information. A file can be stored in multi-script and other word processing documents. So in the Unix, we have different types of files. Okay, one is regular files and directory files and special files. We have three different types of files. One is regular files, another one is directory file, third one is special files. And we have category into three different types like ordinary files and directory files and the special files. The regular files also we call it as ordinary files. Okay, here we will say ordinary files also. As a user, the information that you work with all to be stored in ordinary files. These files arranged in the characteristics that treated by the unit in the Unix system, and the dictionary files and the special files. Okay, the special files like contains the unusual features of Unix file system. So let's get into the file structure. So what is root in the Unix file system? The hierarchy file. Okay. So as I said, the first one should be the root one. This one is should be root file system. When it comes to here, you go to the operating system. Let me connect to the server. And I will show you how this file system should be displayed. The first one is the root directory. This is the root directory of file system. Slash means we will call it as a root directory. It's the top of the file system structure. All other directories are placed under the root directory only. Okay, this is like a super user. So let me show you in practically. So when you connected to the server, okay, this is the Ubuntu server. Clear. So currently I am into the home Ubuntu user. Okay, this is the user under home. So when you go to the root user, under root, so these are the subdirectories are available under root, as we have seen, right? So root, boot, and bin, var, etc, media, run, mnt, opt, device. These are subdirectories are available. If you see here, svc, the root and processors, okay, home, etc. These things are available. As we seen already, the slash means it should be main directory. Okay, if you see pw currently we are into the root directory. This called is a root directory. It is a top of file system structure. All the other directories are placed under it. Directory is nothing but like it should be a folder in the Unix. Next one is a root. Okay, this is called as a home directory of the root. In the Linux and Unix administration, is called as a root. So currently we are into the root directory. Okay, root is like also home directory, default home directory of root. We can cd into the root also, cd root, but we don't have permissions. We go to the root user. So if you see present working directory, currently I am into the root user. Okay, root means it's like a admin, root user. So now when it comes to the next one, it's a home directory. This contains the home directory and the files all of user long time. Okay, it contains the home directory of all users, similar to the documents and settings folders in Windows. So home directory means like in Windows we have documents and settings folders, right? Similarly, it should be in, we have separate directory in the home directory. So it should be big cd into home. So this, it should be separate users directory. When you log into the user, the by default it should be go to the home directory only. When any user log into the current working directory, by default the user owns the home directory only. Next one is boot. The boot one is like a, it contains the kernel which is the core of the operating system. It is also contains the files related to booting OS, that is bootloader. Sbin directory. Sbin stands for a system binaries. Okay. It contains the essential system commands which can be used to the super user like fdisk and dump, etc. And the bin directory. Bin stands for binaries. It contains the essential commands which are used by the all the users like ping, cat, chmod, etc. commands. User stands for Unix system resources slash usr. Okay, it contains the programs and applications are available users, similar to program files in Windows. Basically, when you install any software and it should be available under C program file site. Here, similar slash usr bin. Okay, it should be available from there. Var means variable. It contains the variable information such as logs and print queues, everything available under var directory. And dev means devices. It contains information all about hardware devices. etc contains etc containing all configuration files. Configuration files information should be under etc folder. opt folder, it's optional folder. Generally it contains the third party software, for example open offices, antivirus, etc. And the media, it is up to RHEL6 by default. Mount points for removable storage is media such as CD-ROM, DVD, and print drives, etc. And slash run from RHEL7 default mount point is removable storage such media such as CD-ROM. These things are removed. So these are the default file structure in Unix. So this is just the introduction of Unix and Linux and features. Okay. So by default under root directory, these are the subdirectories are available like bin, boot, div, like etc, home, lib, media, mnt, sbin. Okay. So bin means essential user commands, binary static files. Boot means static files and bootloader. And dev means device files. etc means host specific system configurations. And home, user home directories. Lib means shared libraries. Media means removable media. And mnt mounted file system. opt add-on application software packages. sbin system binaries. srv data for services files. And temporary files, tmp. usr means like users and applications and processes. Okay, process information should be available. If I see, root means primary hierarchy of the root and root directory of the file system. Every single file and directory stands from the root directory only. Only root user has the right to write under the directory. Slash root user is the home directory which is not as the same under root. Bin, okay, and boot and device home directory and lib, media, mnt, opt, sbin, okay, src. These are the information available in the file system. That's all about in this session. Thanks for watching.